Aaron here, aka JK Papa. It is December 18th, 2019, and I am back with another Vlogmas. Vlog to feature. Oh, it's freezing. Aaron here, aka JK Papa. It is December 18th, 2019, and I am back with another Vlogmas vlog to feast your eyes and ears indubitably upon Lovebird. It's cold, y'all. It's cold for Kentucky, that's for dang sure. It's like 33 degrees or some mess like that, and I am cold. And although I say that, and where I'm from in Illinois, well, it's much colder, so I shall not complain too much. Let's go get some coffee. All right, y'all, let's talk inspiration. Inspiration specifically for the purposes of becoming more creative. How does one become more creative? How does one become inspired to be more creative? First things first, let's recognize that your brain is separated into two separate sides. One side handles creativity and the other side the logical thought process. When we're children, we deal with creativity a lot. We are encouraged to draw things, to build things, to do all kinds of creative things. And because of the fact that we live in a world that we don't fully understand, we utilize the creative side of our brain a lot to fill spaces that we don't yet quite logically understand. This is why when we're children, it's very natural for us to be creative, why we love coloring, why we love doing things that are creative, why we have imaginary friends, why we create little plays in our head to play out with our friends, why we do all of these things as children. As we grow older, we are encouraged to be more logical. We are encouraged to grow up, so to speak, to play less and be more adult-like. And as children, since we are encouraged to be that way, it's something that we aspire to. We also start to learn about success. We learn about money. We learn about the things money can bring for us. All of these things encourage us to be more quote-unquote responsible and play less. So as we continue to grow and learn from those around us, we stop valuing creative things as much, and we continue to grow in our appreciation for responsible, grown-up adult things. Just like anything else, when we don't practice it, when we don't visit that realm of understanding very often, we lose sight of it and or lose the ability to harness those gifts or those talents with such proficiency that we view them as even a talent or a gift anymore. Because of that, sometimes we start to think, maybe I wasn't very creative at all, or maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I once was. Maybe people were just blowing smoke at me. Maybe I'm not creative at all. This is a very real conversation that people have with themselves, and maybe they don't have it on a conscious level, but they have it on a subconscious level. You know, oh, well, yeah, I did theater in high school, but that was a million years ago. Or, oh, yeah, I took voice lessons when I was a kid, but that was a million years ago. Or, yeah, of course I colored and I drew when I was a little kid, but I was never really very good at it. Because of these internal dialogues that we have, we as adults sometimes view ourselves as utilitarian, as just being there for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to bring home a paycheck, pay the bills, and run the rat race. So, how do we gain our inspiration back? I'm going to give you some helpful hints. What do you like to do? What creative things do you enjoy? Here's a way to figure it out. Oftentimes you enjoy watching it on TV, or enjoy listening to it, or enjoy watching other people do it, but don't dare do it yourself. Whatever that thing is, you need to seek out and find a way to actually do it. Now, wait a minute, I know what you're saying. Your subconscious mind is already telling you, nope, can't do that. I'm gonna suck at it. It's gonna hurt. I'm too out of shape to do it. I don't have the skills to do it. I don't have the tools to do it. I don't have the supplies to do it. Listen, get out of your own way. Go find a way and do the creative thing that it is that you want to do, regardless of how successful you will be doing it the first time out. Until you can go and actually do the thing that you want to do, I still encourage you to continue to listen and watch and interact with people who are doing the very thing that you want to do. So maybe find a forum online, maybe find a Facebook group that talks about the very thing that you want to do. Maybe search out some videos on YouTube about the thing that you would like to do and get some helpful hints on how to begin it. This is how we start to feel the beginning of inspiration, is to just indulge yourself enough to look at the specifics of it. Just take a step in one direction. Maybe you don't know how you'll get all the way there, but just take a step. Start the research. That's inspiration tip number 1. Start the research. Step 2, find the best in the field. Okay, now, and I know people will say that this sounds crazy, right? You're going to find the best in the field of the thing that you want to do and watch them or listen to them or look at their work, right? That's going to seem super discouraging to some people, right? Well, this is not the point. The point is not to go and look and compare yourself to this person. That will get you nowhere. What you are supposed to do with this practice is to find this person, look at their work, and allow it to inspire you. Allow it to spark that still small voice within yourself that says, yes, look at that. I love that. I want to do that. Step 3, fill the well. Now, listen, we do a lot in a day, right? We go to work, we deal with kids, we deal with angry people, we deal with customers, we deal with stressors, we deal with the commute to and from work, we deal with all kinds of crazy stuff, right? All of this stress pulls away from our well. It takes away a little bit from our well, right? So we need to refill it. Okay, so how do we do that? We can do that any number of ways, and for each person it's a very individual thing. For some people it's working out, for some people it's meditating, for other people it's simply doing the act of creating, so seek out that thing that fills your well, and you'll know that it fills your well because it won't feel like a task. It'll feel really, really good. For me, myself, vlogging is something that helps fill my well. Crocheting is something that helps me fill my well. Meditation, yoga, physical journaling, creating of any sort fills my well for me. And what I also find too is that it's really important to just sometimes get some time to do nothing and relax and allow your mind to wander. So often our minds are clouded with so much stuff. Creative inspiration isn't allowed to kind of wiggle its way through. Creative inspiration is very shy. It likes to be coaxed out. And so if you're waiting for it to come to you through all the jumble of the craziness and madness of life, you're going to wait for a while. You have to create space for the creative inspiration to find its stage, so to speak. An addendum to that is that whatever it is that fills your well, 99.9% of the time, it's going to be something that you do by yourself. Now, that's not to say that you don't have that one friend that is super supportive, that you can go out to a meal with and just chat and giggle and laugh and be childlike with, and that fills your well. Some people have that. More than likely, though, it's better to do it by yourself because the focus needs to be solely upon yourself and solely upon doing a healthful act for your spirit and your mind. It's really hard to do that with another person because of the fact that we are individuals. Our focus is on ourselves to a certain extent, and so it's really, really hard to be completely selfless in a conversation. So just keep that in mind. 99.9% of the time, filling the well is a solo act. Step 4, schedule time for creativity. But Papa, I don't have time for creativity. Yes, even you have time for creativity. Look at me, I'm doing my vlogs on the commute between getting coffee and going to work, and it usually only takes me about half an hour to 45 minutes out of my day, and I do it because it is about the only time that I have time alone, and it is very important to me to fill my well. This time of the day where I work on my vlogs and where I talk about things that are important to me fills my well for the day. And so when I go to wait on tables, when I go to interact with people who I work with, when I dig into my day for the day, I have filled the well full of creative and happy energy that I can draw upon throughout the day and not just feel depleted and cranky, and that's to say I don't get to do much creatively in the way of art per se, but my whole day is dealing with people, and when we deal with people all the time, boy do we have to be creative, and especially now with me working in the bookstore, I get a chance to be pretty dang creative by just looking at all these books and all of these quote unquote pretty things. I love books, so it's very creative, and it's very cool that now one of my jobs is a creative space, because that's going to help me a lot. So back to the point. Schedule yourself time. I don't care if it's just half an hour once a week. You need to schedule yourself time to be creative. Now, this is different than the time that it's taking for you that you've set aside to fill the well. You need to fill the well almost every day. And I don't care if you just take 10 minutes before you go to sleep, or wake up 10 minutes extra early and just lay there and just be silent and allow your mind to wander and just be. Fill the well a different time, but we're talking about scheduling time to be creative. So this is time. Okay, say you're not even ready yet to embark upon the thing it is that you would like to do. Okay, so you're not ready to start those voice lessons or those guitar lessons yet. You're not there yet, but you still need creative time. Get yourself an adult coloring book. Listen to an opera. Do something creative once a week at least, and it needs to be at least a half an hour. So find something, even if it's not your big huge goal thing that you want to do, find something creative that you can do once a week. And it doesn't matter how quote unquote dumb it is or how childish it is. In fact, the more childish it seems, probably the better it is for you. So let's drop all of that preconceived notions about what's childish and what's a waste of time, and let's just get back to being creative. So now we've decided what we want to do. We've sought out the best in the field. We have filled the well, and now we have scheduled time to be creative. You should start to feel that inspiration coming, even just with deciding that you're going to do these things, right? So now, what's the last step in this? The last step is to recognize inspiration, right? So that little nudge that you feel within yourself to pick up that pen and write down that phrase you just thought of, don't let that moment pass. Write it down really quick. Stop what you're doing and write it down really quick. When inspiration comes, you have to move. And so often this happens at the most inopportune time, right? How many times have I woken up in the middle of the night after having a dream where a song was given to me in a dream, and I've rolled over and gone back to sleep because I wanted to sleep, and I missed that moment, and I thought to myself, I'll remember it in the morning, and when I wake up in the morning, it's gone forever. So recognize inspiration for what it is and jump on it when it shows itself. I can guarantee you that you have 35 to 45 seconds to stop what you're doing, jot that thing down, remind yourself of something, set a voice memo to remind you later, set an alarm, just make a note of what that inspiration was, because once you start doing these things, inspiration is going to pop in and out of your life, and you have to be ready to move when it comes, because when inspiration is almost like a child, right? So when you coax it out and then reject it by ignoring it, it comes less and less. So that child wants to come less. And so then you have to work harder to coax it out again. And it's been dormant for so long, it's already really, really sensitive. So be mindful that once you embark upon this journey to become more creative and seek inspiration, once it starts to show itself, you have a responsibility to move. And with that, I hope that this is helpful to you, because once inspiration comes and once you start living a more creative life, you will find that you will feel some pieces that have been missing pop back into place. Listen, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. Oh gosh, I'm the worst. I'm a workaholic sometimes, and I don't spend time being creative. And when I get home, I'm so exhausted that all I can do is just, watch an episode of something on Netflix and go to sleep. And that's not healthy for this creative spirit, okay? And so don't think that you have to be perfect, okay? The whole thing about it is that creativity and inspiration, they're such a personal experience. So I can't tell you everything that you can do to be inspired. You'll find things that are even better for you. I can only give you what works for me, and or things that I've read about from masters on the topic, But just know that the more open you are to it, the more it's going to become easy for you. So just embrace it and move. For those of you who encounter this video and your instinct is to say, I'm not a creative person, let me just encourage you for a moment. I want you to recognize and see that everyone is a creative individual. Science has proven that we have two hemispheres of the brain, and that one side deals with one thing and the other side deals with the other. Yes, sometimes we tend to be a little bit more left-brained or a little bit more right-brained, but that doesn't mean that you don't use both. You absolutely use both, regardless of who you are. You are a creative person. It may be, and as you begin to dig more into it, you may find that throughout your life people have stifled your creativity, and therefore it has laid dormant for a long time and you just don't know it's there anymore. But inherently, human beings are creative individuals, and you can see it in everything that we do. You can see it in the things that we value. Most human beings value music. Most human beings value art in some way, shape, or form. We like pretty things, right? We like shiny things. Even the way that we revere, gold or silver, these things are all set in place partially because of marketing, but the marketing is there because it's shiny and pretty, right? We're all creative individuals, so don't allow your nasty little Dementor subconscious mind to lie to you and tell you that it's a waste of time, because it's not. And I can guarantee you those voices in your head that say that it's not worth the time, or that you're not worth the time, or that you're not a creative soul, that is probably someone in your past who said that to you a lot. And as you uncover things, you'll begin to remember those moments. And as you remember them, just forgive the people who have done that, and just allow yourself to mend over that. And, eventually all of this will become second nature. Creativity is second nature. Allow it to become what it is already. Alright guys, I'm getting ready to go into work, but I wanted to say before I do, 2 books that I can recommend if you are interested in really digging into mending as a creative and or becoming more creative. The first book is called The Artist's Way, and it's by Julia Cameron. That book is really great in that if you feel like you are a blocked creative, or if you think you are not creative at all, this will help you kind of unlock why it is that you feel that way, help inspire you to become more creative. And it's actually set up into a program over several weeks that you can do in little chunks, and it's really good. There's workbooks out there, there's all kinds of things that go along with it that will make it really easy if you are a homework type of person or a regimented type of person. It's a really great way to go about it. The second book that I would recommend is called An Actor Prepares by Stanislavski. Now, even if acting is not anything you're even remotely interested in, this book is really interesting in that it speaks from one person's experience of going through acting school and the many different hoops that he jumps through to become more creative and more in tune with his craft. And so maybe your craft or the thing that you want to get into is not acting, but the process is still the same. And so it speaks a lot about being well-rounded and about honing your instrument and doing all of these things. So those 2 books would be 2 that I would recommend. So look into them. Or maybe if somebody else has other recommendations for great books on becoming more creative or honing your instrument, I would love to read those. So put them in the comments below. Until I speak to you guys next time, I will talk to you later. Okay, bye!